Hi, my name is Vanessa van Dijk, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can use Isntree Clear Skin BHA Toner, which is a leave-on exfoliant. So once you have applied it to the skin, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And you can use it for normal to oily skin types daily in the morning and or evening. Now, before I'm getting started with the entire application, there are several points that I still need to emphasize, which will be first of all the breakdown of this product. Then I want to share with you a frequency guide so that you have an idea of where you can get started. Then what you should not combine in the same routine, as well as where you have to be careful. And then again, some example skincare routines so that you have a visual guide in mind of what this could look like. And so of course you will find the timestamps below. However, if you're completely new to an exfoliant in general, or maybe to this product, I highly recommend watching the entire video. So first of all, it is a BHA toner and it helps to exfoliate the skin, and it does this because it contains betaine salicylate, which is salicylic acid combined with a moisturizing ingredient. So salicylic acid helps to gently loosen the dead skin cells from the skin surface, regulates oiliness and helps to unclog pores, and may even help to reduce blackheads. However, if they are too stubborn, too deep into the skin, you still would need to extract them, but you can maintain it with the BHA toner. And then betaine is a moisturizing ingredient, so while it exfoliates the skin, since it is combined with a moisturizing ingredient, it adds hydration to the skin as well, and therefore it is much gentler as if you just would use salicylic acid on its own. Plus, the overall formulation contains more hydrating and soothing ingredients to this too, so that you can use it theoretically, as already mentioned earlier, daily in the morning and or evening without any concerns. However, if you're being completely new to an exfoliant in general and you have no idea what your skin can tolerate, specifically if you're looking into a BHA toner, then it is always advised to start off slowly before you're going to use it daily in the morning and or evening. This way you can reduce the signs of sensitivity and you see what your skin actually needs, because this is very individually. So I always recommend starting off by using it once per day, 2 to 3 times per week. If that frequency works well for you, you can keep on going with it. If you say, well, after 2 weeks, I may just want to increase the frequency to see what else I can get based on the benefits and what my skin can tolerate, well then go ahead and increase the frequency, use it once per day every other day. Then over time you may want to move on to once per day daily, and then maybe use it twice per day daily. But of course this depends again on your skin, as well as what other skincare products you may be using at the same time, because depending on the skincare products that you're using, there are certain combinations that I do not recommend doing. And so this is now my next point that I want to lead into, so that you have an idea of how you can create a skincare routine if you're planning on adding this product to your routine. So first of all, I want to go over one specific conflict, which is actually a conflict, and then the other ones would be what I do not recommend using in the same routine because it's too potent and it's definitely not needed, and then the other one would be the be careful part. So when it comes to the actual conflict, since I know that loads of you have the ordinary products at home, the conflict would be peptides, which, like to be more specific, the ordinary peptides, because if you're using an exfoliant in the same routine, then one of the ordinary peptides, they are quite sensitive to the pH, and then you would break down the peptide bond and then you're going to lose some of the efficacy. So therefore keep them separate, use one in the morning, the other one in the evening. Then when it comes to what you should not combine, because it really can lead to a damaged skin barrier or overall extreme sensitivity, then it would be first of all strong exfoliating acid masks. So since you already have an exfoliating acid mask, there's no need to follow with another exfoliant afterwards. One is enough. And so therefore just use your BHA toner on days where you're not using the exfoliating acid mask, to keep it as simple as possible. Then the other part would be leave-on exfoliating acid products. Now with leave-on exfoliating acid products specifically, I'm referring to AHA and BHA. Now AHA being glycolic, lactic or mandelic acid, BHA is known as salicylic acid, but it isn't always clear. So sometimes it will tell you, as right here with the BHA toner, that it is a BHA toner, even though it's a salicylic acid toner, but it just says BHA toner. On other exfoliating acid products, you're reading on it like that it's a salicylic acid product. And some people think that they're completely different exfoliating acids, or even some of them think that there aren't any exfoliating acids. Therefore, again, please do not confuse it. BHA is salicylic acid. You only need one product that would contain contain such an ingredient, therefore do not use multiple exfoliating acids in the same routine. Preferably, one is enough that fits with your skin type and your overall skin concerns. However, if you still say, well, I want to use an AHA and a BHA in my skincare routine, then my best advice would be alternating between them on different days. Then the other point would be low pH exfoliating acid cleansers. There aren't that many that I'm aware of on the market. However, I do want to emphasize it in case you should have one with a low pH and a certain percentage of exfoliating acids, usually combined like AHA and BHA, but still make sure to not use them in the same routine. Again, this can really lead to sensitivity. If you should have a gentle, like low strength salicylic acid cleanser, this shouldn't be an issue, but it's more about the low pH like cleansers that are more important to emphasize. And then the other point would be strong vitamin C products, like 20% of ascorbic acid and up, which would be the pure form of vitamin C. Again, this really can lead to stinging and burning when using an exfoliant beforehand. And then it, of course, depends on what your skin can tolerate. And so the last one would be retinol and retinoids. Now, with Isntree BHA toner, that one has some hydrating properties to it as well, so it may work if you should have a retinol or retinoid in a low percentage. However, the higher up you're going in percentage, and depending on the exfoliating acid that you're using, it can really lead to excessive dryness, because both products can make the skin drier, and you may then increase the risk of experiencing sensitivity as well. So it can work in low strength. However, the higher up you're going in strength, the more likely this can occur. And of course, the frequency on how often you're going to do this combination plays a big role as well. So therefore, just keep this in mind that this can occur if you would use them in the same routine. And so there you have like the examples of what you should not combine in the same routine, which I advise to make sure that it will work pleasant for you when setting up your skincare routine, so that you can reduce the risk of either losing the benefits of one of the product or even experiencing sensitivity. And so when it comes to my example routine, I have prepared them in PowerPoint slides as well. And I want to get started with the example of a morning skincare routine. So in case you say, well, I want to include my BHA toner in my morning skincare routine, here you have an example of what this can look like. On the top corner, you have the time of use. Underneath, you can see the steps below the boxes with the products that I have picked, and right underneath, the general guide. You can read through the general guide in your own time if you're going to click on the link in the description box down below, because there you will find all the PowerPoint slides. And so you're going to get started with the first step, which is washing your face using a suitable cleanser for your skin type and needs. Again, ideally, this would be a gentle cleanser or just in the morning water. However, if you have like a salicylic acid cleanser at home that has a low percentage of salicylic acid in it, or even like not really a low pH, this can theoretically work with this toner. So it isn't wrong to do so, but I do want to emphasize a gentle cleanser would be advised. Wash your face, rinse it off, pat the skin dry. Then you're moving on to your BHA toner, apply to the skin, leave it on the skin. Then if you would like to, you can continue with your specific essence or maybe treatments in general that are working well for your skin type and for your skin concerns, keeping kind of like the conflicts in mind when setting up your routine. Apply to the skin, leave it on the skin, and then follow on with sunscreen to protect the skin during daytime. Doesn't matter if you're using your BHA in the morning and or evening, sun protection during daytime is key. When it comes to an evening skincare routine, it can look pretty much the same, just without the sunscreen step, but you can replace it if you should feel the need with an like moisturizer that's suitable for your skin type. And then if you should have troubles removing your sunscreen and makeup from the skin, like with your regular cleanser, you can go ahead and do a double cleanse using an like micellar water, oil or balm cleanser as your first cleansing step, and then you can move on to your regular cleanser. Again, to be more specific, a gentle cleanser if you can. And then continue with the rest of your skincare routine. So you can see what steps are optional and what I recommend including, so that you're making sure that you understand the essential steps in the skincare routine. And again, you will find the PowerPoint slides in the description box down below. Now, I want to get started with the entire application. So I have my setup right here. I'm going to go with a morning skincare routine so that you can see how you should apply your sunscreen, because this is really important to protect the skin from the damaging UV rays, plus because you're working with an exfoliant at the same time. So we're going to get started with the first step, which is your cleansing step. Again, in the morning this can be purely water, that's completely fine. However, in the evening I really recommend using a cleanser that can help you to take off any excess oil, dirt and sweat from the skin, and even makeup and sunscreen. So I'm going to use Cetaphil's Daily Facial Cleanser. This is a gentle cleanser that's suitable for combination to oily skin. If you should have a different one, replace it, that's completely fine, and just make sure to read on the back of the packaging on how you should use your cleanser. Usually the directions will tell you apply to wet skin, then rinse it off with water, but sometimes they even tell you apply to dry skin and then rinse it off with water. Either way, when using water, use always lukewarm water to warm water so that it feels comfortable on the skin. You can wash your face above the sink or in the shower, either way is fine, just make sure to properly get everything off the skin before moving on to your BHA toner. So let's go ahead and do this. Then use about 1 to 2 pumps, so about a coin-sized amount on the palm of your hand. Massage it between your hands and then gently blend it, or let's say massage it over your face and neck for about 30 seconds to a minute, making sure not to get it into your eyes nor into your mouth. If that's the case, rinse it with water. So, and now go ahead and again rinse it off with lukewarm water to warm water. If you like to, specifically when doing this above the sink, use a clean washcloth in between those makeup cloths or microfiber cloths, wet them, then squeeze them out and then gently swipe it across your face and neck to make sure that you can get properly everything off the skin. So, and now go ahead and take a clean towel and gently remove the remaining water drops on the skin surface by patting it. Please do not rub. This is an essential step to do in between so that you can properly layer your BHA toner afterwards, and maybe other skincare products that you want to include, so that you do not come across a weird and tight and dry feeling, nor coming across pilling, which is extremely annoying. So once you're done with your cleansing step, you now can move on to the next step, which is the application of your BHA toner. Now go ahead, grab it before you're going to open it. Please don't forget to give it a good shake. And then you can apply it 2 ways, either with a cotton pad or with your hands. Either way is fine, but I do want to emphasize that using a cotton pad, you are going to use a lot more product on a cotton pad as if you would apply it with your hands, so please keep this in mind. But if you do so, you can go ahead, take a clean cotton pad and then soak up the cotton pad so it feels slightly damp but not dripping wet. This is really important because you need to have enough product to swipe it across your face, but not ending up with too much product because this may lead to sensitivity or even a weird feeling. Like so, more or less. And then you can swipe it across your face and then there you go. Personally, I prefer to use it with my hands because then I can save some product and still blend it all over my face and neck. And so when using it with your hands, I recommend using about 5 to 8 drops, more or less. Start off with 5 and then you can always add a few drops more afterwards if that shouldn't be enough. And so then go ahead and do so because you can count the drops. Just going with 5 drops, this is more than enough for me. Then rub your hands together and gently blend it over your face and neck. Please do not get it into your eyes, nor into your mouth. Please do not use it on top of your eyelids, nor too close to the actual lower lash line. So once you have applied it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And again, if this is going to be your evening skincare routine, it is fine to use the BHA toner on its own, and then there you have it. Otherwise, optional steps would be specific essence or maybe in general treatments, and then follow on with a moisturizer if you should feel the need. But during daytime, one step that's really important to do is sunscreen. And so this is now where I want to immediately move into, because this is important. You're working with an exfoliant which can make the skin sensitive to the sun, plus you want to protect your skin in general from the damaging UV rays. And so I'm going to use Cosrx Aloe Soothing Sun Cream. If you have a different one, replace it. It should feel comfortable on the skin, and it shouldn't irritate your skin or your eyes in any way. And so go ahead, use your sunscreen, apply 10 to 15 minutes before sun exposure. And when it comes to a general guide of how much you need to use, I recommend using about half a teaspoon for face, neck, including ears. But if you have like a more larger, like décolletage exposure than I have, then I recommend using a bit more, about 1 teaspoon. Now this amount can be adjusted. If you now say, well, I have tried it with half a teaspoon and it's more than enough, I can feel a thick coat on the skin, I still have left on my fingers, well, of course you can go ahead and reduce it. But you should use a generous amount so that you are able to blend it evenly all over to protect the skin, like in every corner where you're being exposed to the sun. So I have half a teaspoon right here to give you like a visual guide, but of course again this can be adjusted. More or less, and then get it onto your fingers so that you can see how much I'm using. And then gently blend it all over your face and neck. Again, please make sure to not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth. If your sunscreen does not irritate your eyes in any way, you can use it around the eyes. However, if your sunscreen does irritate your eyes but the rest of your face is fine, well then I recommend wearing sunglasses instead. Or you may need to change the sunscreen if you want to protect this part as well with your sunscreen, of course, because it shouldn't irritate your skin in really any way. It should feel comfortable so that you want to apply it to the skin. So, and once you've applied it all over your face and neck, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And this would be a simple example skincare routine of how you can use Isntrie's Clear Skin BHA Toner, so that you know what steps are important to do, as well as what you have to keep in mind when setting up a skincare routine on your own. Now, I do hope that you enjoyed this video, that you find it helpful. If you did so, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it. And if you now want to learn more about skincare and you want to see how you can add some additional steps into your skincare routine, I'm going to leave some of the videos at the end of this video, but you will find more about skincare on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye!